Okay, this is me, Sean Shears, doing another podcast. It's great to know I've got 266 followers, but no likes. Kind of hurts. But this podcast is on songwriting, and it's for those of you who want to songwrite and don't know how. And it's for those of you who can songwrite but just need that little touch of inspiration out there. And it's for people who used to be able to songwrite who cannot anymore, and the apps that are out there that can help you do this, that can give you something to take to a producer and say, hey, Mr. Producer, here's my idea in a decent form. So we're going to start basically, the easiest way, I suppose, to do most things app-wise these days, because everything's happening with apps, but is to find, there was software when I was growing up. Ban in the Box was this new thing. Other softwares are available that do this, and they would create songs from scratch. They would generate songs for so long, be royalty-free, and you could use them for commercials and things like that. Or you could enter your own chords, pick the style, and it would add it in with very rudimentary sounding drums and instruments. As the versions got better, that then meant that you could have live drumming. You could select your own kind of drummer. You could select a fusion, if you like, your own fusion of styles. And this, and you could change styles halfway through. You'd have mixed results. It's very easy. You just entered G, Mag, M-A-G, G, M-I-N, if it was G major or minor. But the point was, it was, for those of you who just know that a chord is called C or C major, or it's simple coding, basically, and it generates stuff, and you click on it, and you can take instruments out and put instruments in, and that's a very good way to come up with something and design something that is original, of your own doing to some degree, and take to a producer and say, I want to develop this further. Great. But now we have apps that can probably do a little bit better than that. We have a lot of apps that are used for jokes, like these rap apps that are out there, where they put anything you say to a beat, put it in rhythm, put it in sync, boom, you're done. Now, for some of you singers out there who just have lyrical ideas and have no one to bounce that off of, this is a great way to indeed start. And these things, there's one for jazz, there's one for rock, there's one, I think, for every kind of music, pretty much. One way you can combine the backing tracks together, if you really want to be clever, is download something like Loopy HD, which records off your phone or off your iPad or your iPod. It records internally whatever you're playing, takes it, loops it, and then we'll put it in sync with something else. So if you got two song ideas, or you got one song idea that's been done in one thing and one song idea that's been done in another, you can save them as separate files and bring them in and go, yep, bang, those are my two loops, press play, boom. And you can hear the two of them interact with each other and go, yep, they're in sync, because they're not going to not be in sync, unless I tell it not to be, and that's great. So for the non-songwriter out there, there are tons of apps. The apps I would suggest off the top of my head, if you can still get this, Chord Lite, or Chord, I think it's just called, it's just called Chord. Let's just find it quickly on my phone. It's called Chord. It's a typical Sean Shears thing to do, isn't it? It's called, if I can see it now, and it's not going to reveal itself to me, it's right in front. Yeah, it's called Chord CE3. So I've got Chord Explorer 3. The reason I didn't buy the full version was because that just plays it in individual arpeggio notes, just like bing, 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 bing. This does it in chords. So what you do is you've got a piano in front of you, you press the keys, it highlights the keys, You then press play, you then pick it. You just say, I want it to go in this box here. They've got a group of boxes at the top, and it tells you what that chord is. So no matter what weirder shape you make on the piano, it will play it. That is phenomenal, and it will tell you what it is. No matter how, it will tell you, no matter how complex it is, what it is. And you'll be amazed how many different ways there is to make the same chord. Then you can move on to something which I've just discovered called Chord Bot. And Chord Bot, the full version will cost you about £4. But the light version, I've just tried this. Now, I've tried this in conjunction with Chord Lite. So what I've done is I've got a load of chords that I've just randomly just gone, space, that note, and I've come up with a load of random chords, and it's given me what these chords are. So roughly know if it says, D minor, sustain, 7th, sustain, 4th, I know, okay, that gives me an idea. I then go into Chord Bot. Chord Bot will say, select the chord you want. So you got down one column, C to whatever, C to B, B minor. Literally, you then select the first part of it. So if it says CM or CMAJ, and the slash is, you can take your pick. You don't have to have a middle note. You could just have it C minor flat out or C major flat out, but if you've got a sustained you can whack that on the end. But basically it gives you more options to develop your ideas further. So it might not be exactly what you had initially, but if you're working within chords that sound good to your ear, it takes it in another direction. If you cannot add to, say, the 3 chords that you have, say it's, G, F, A minor, right? I'm in a G mood today. You can use something called chord. Actually, I know this one. No, it's not called that. It's called Song. And I haven't used it yet. Suggester. It's called Song Suggester, Chord Suggester, in fact. And this costs you nothing at all to download. So what you do is you put in the chords that say Chord Explorer has told you, type it in, and then you say, suggest me some ideas. And this will give you numerous ideas of what to follow those chords with. So this is now moving up the scale. If you're a guitarist and you're like, I've got these great chords here, but I don't know where to go, these are just 3 chords, I know, it needs something. It's not working with those 3 chords. Even though I could write a great song with those 3 chords, it's not working. What could I do? This is a good way to get ideas without having somebody else there. For that same sort of songwriter, there's a ukulele app, and I think it's just called, I'm just going to have a look now on my phone, but the great thing about this app is that it might be a ukulele app, but as you know, if you're a guitarist out there, and there are other apps available, gotta keep reminding you that there are. Basically, what this does, this uke app, it's it's a ukulele app. It's just called Ukulele, and basically it's free. You download it, and it's got flat. It's got a muted string strum. It's got a certain two different kinds of plex. But what it gives you is different variations of the same chord depending on where you play it on the fret. The other, for people who don't play guitar, who want to find an easier way to do that, type in Simple Songwriter, and there's a actual guitar app which is just simply the most easiest thing in the world to work. You can pre-play a chord so you can hear it. Same thing with a uke app. You can hear it and go, yeah, that's the sound I want, and you can then put it in to a little box, And like with a UCAP, you can strum each chord one by one, and you press the box and the chord stored in. You go press the box, strum. But with the guitar one, you just press the box, and it will auto play it like on Band in a Box. If you look at Band in a Box as the god to all apps, all music apps, it will play you a preset, but I think it's preset 4 or 5 that is just a normal preset where you can set up your own strumming pattern, but how many times you press that button is how many times you strike that chord is how many times it will strum. And this has helped me with a couple of compositions I've had. And the good thing is it crosses in with other stuff like Reason, Logic, all the stuff that the main studios use. It interacts with that straight away. So Simple Songwriter, Chordbot, Chordlite, ukulele apps, anything that really helps you. Loopy HD, brilliant. There's tons of apps out there. Chord Suggester is another good one if you're stuck. But mainly, however you create a song is how you create a song. Bottom line is there's no wrongs or right. At the end of the day, as long as it sounds banging and it sounds good to you, that's all that really matters. How I personally feel about the world of apps, I think they're amazing. And I think especially when you get something like Chordlite, where you can just put spaces on a piano and assign them to a box, and that tells you what the chord is. You press that box, and every time you press it down on the chords. Brilliant. I mean, what more do you need? Loopy HD, you can then create your own loops just simultaneously via your own voice or via apps inside your own, inside your own phone, iPad, etc. And Band in a Box has been a godsend because it has many of these devices inbuilt. So learn how to use Band in a Box, then take that a little bit further, download the light versions, always download the free versions first, then download the paid versions, have an explore with them, and don't think that the first time you use them you have to come up with a song. You don't. This is absolute rubbish. You don't need to do that. Just download them, see if it does what you want it to do. If the light version does what you want it to do on a basic level, i.e. Chordbot, because I've just downloaded that just now, it puts chords in a certain way, which I can go, yes, I like the way those chords sound without me banging away on various boxes. I've just assigned them to where I want them to go, bang, they're in order, great, okay. I can then take that, I can then, use that as an example. I can then buy the full version, and that will give me access to bands and different instruments, a bit like Band in the Box. So it's like going back to that, but I started off using just sort of literally manipulating the wave, the very sound wave itself. So that's how I started, and I needed musicians around me. If you need musicians around you, there are things like BandLab, which if you're a guitarist and you want to send something off to your friend, bit like SoundCloud, but a bit more private as well, it's a bit more locked down, you and your lyricist can go back and forth with ideas. He can sing along to your stuff, send it back to you. It gives you that studio option of really combining ideas when you're not there. And then when you are in the same room, you can refer to recordings. And this is really, really good as well. So BandLab would be my suggestion if you're collaborating with someone. If you want to combine different genres, Loopy HD. If you're a DJ, Loopy HD. If you're a rapper, there's tons. I got to cover a different podcast now, but just general basic songwriting. I've covered them there: Chordbot, Chordlite, Chord Explorer, and last Band in a Box, and any ukulele. Simple Songwriter apps are great. I go for them. I champion them. But basically, anything that helps you make a song, download it, use it, take it to a producer, polish it off, or just release it as it is. Reason is a great app as well. Get that as well if you like dance music. Awesome. Bye.